about 1 year to launch a product. So in food, you need to understand how food works. No matter how good the vision is of the company, of the product, no matter the intentions, at the end, taste is king. And so you need to, like for a product to sell, you need to get the taste right. And so this iterate like super fast, put something out there and then sell it, that doesn't really work in food because it will be an absolute massive flop. This means that you need to have enough iterations. You need to go enough times to Migros. You need to find enough babies, etc., to find the taste. And there's a key percentage that is known in food that you want to have, that like the amount of people that give your okay for the product to be, sellable in the market, and that's around 60%. So if 60% of the people tell you it's a good product, they would buy it and they like the taste, then you have a good enough product. And after you get this 60% right, then you still need to do all the packaging, which then can take also several months, because then similar to textile, you need to get a prototype, there's a production cycle, etc., etc. So at the end was first developing the product itself, getting it to 60% likability with the customers, and then developing the packaging based on the product. Then this can take up until about 1 year. And of course, you can still continue to develop the product afterwards, but the first launch in the market needs to be good enough so you already have repeat purchase from the customers. Otherwise, it will flop. I think this is what we did in the beginning with Yamo, also a little bit wrong. We were too fast to launch, maybe. And now I'm also advisor to a lot of different food startups, and I urge them to take a little bit longer in prototyping phase before they launch something. Otherwise, they will have a very, very bad experience.
I think if you're not a little bit embarrassed, you have waited too long, actually. And I remember the moment when we were just, okay, we just have to do it now because we were so delayed as well. It was kind of a make it or break it moment where we had lost our production slot. This is the problem when you're in textile, and I think in many production industries, is that's a small company. You're always going to be the last on the totem pole, right? They're going to push you back. So at some point we just said we just had to go now because we're already sold through Kickstarter. And when we were sending out the parcels, when you're trying the product every day yourself, you see everything. It's like, this seam is not exactly right, this here, oh my God, everyone is going to send it back, they're going to hate this and that, and you become so hypercritical yourself that nothing will ever pass through. So we were really like, okay, we were sure that it would live up to the functional claims, but we had some issues actually with the shrinkability a little bit of the product, but we actually got no complaints in the end. So I think at some point you just need to jump off the cliff, actually. It's just, you have to do it. But obviously, as Jose was saying as well, if it's too early and you have produced thousands of products, you still have the production cost, right? And you might have ruined your reputation in the market. So it has to be for sure good enough that you have a positive customer experience.
Adding to this from more software internet perspective, and I think in our case, you usually try to test for two things before you make a call of leaning into it. One thing is you want to test for the demand. And I think what Laurent laid out a little bit is how you can do that, right? You can essentially just build a landing page, see if there are any search requests on Google for, sleep furniture, whatever it's going to be. And you can buy this intentional traffic to land on your website and then try to make them do something. Leave the email, buy, just click on, I would love to have that. There are a lot of ways how you can validate it. So there is a way how you can validate demand. This is kind of one check mark that I would put. And then the second check mark is you want to have a feeling for the validity of your product solving the need or the problem that you're trying to tackle, right? So being at the 60% acceptance of your baby customers, being at a certain NPS score that you're trying to achieve within, the customer group that you've built, or, showing your wireframes to customers, letting them click around and do a proper quality assessment. So these are the two things. I think if you have both validated, then give it a go.